Today's an early one, guys. Gotta be a semi-truck driver again. I really need to clean this pool out. I was thinking something though. Check this out. I don't know if you guys can even see that, but so it's like 75 degrees, 76. It feels cold on my fingers, so I'm thinking I gotta get a little colder, jump in it one of these mornings, really get the juices flowing. I don't know why random intrusive thoughts like that come into my head, but I'll share them with you guys. Jim Bob's Garage. That's me, Jim Bob. James Robert. Jim Bob Watson. You better get over here, boy. Bringing some wireless mics with me this time. Hopefully you guys can hear a word I'm saying in that semi-truck. I got a lot of saying to say. Does it? When am I going to learn? Holy crap. AC blaring. Unless I put like a big post-it note on my forehead or on the dash here somewhere that says turn AC off, I don't think I'm ever going to figure it out. For God's sake, it's 55 degrees outside and I had that thing blaring.
Donald Trump.
Donald Trump is a morning news radio. You have to wonder if they teach people to talk like that. Like if you go to news anchor school or whatever, news broadcasting school and train, if they teach you the highs and lows, you go up and down. Or if it's just something that over the years they've just adopted because that's what they see other anchors do, but it's always up and down, right? Shooting happened today in the downtown area. An arrest was made in the shooting. Up and down. It is kind of annoying, especially when you see like a younger chick or a younger person, chick or dude, on there that you know good and well doesn't really talk like that. Like, back to you in the station. Guys, look how beautiful this bridge is. This doesn't do it justice through my dirty windshield. Wind noise incoming. So cool how they put those lights in there like that. I'll try to tone out the loud wind noise so it don't blast your ears out if you're wearing headphones or whatever, but yeah, super cool, man. It lights up the sky at night, especially if it's foggy or cloudy outside. But good old Kentucky. Every day I leave the state. Well, the pre-trip went well, but there's nothing worse than like fogged up windows that you can't seem to get the fog off of. I mean, I paper toweled everything. I think the problem is because the windshield seal also went bad here recently. It leaks a little bit. I think it's getting moisture inside here, but man, I think that's one of the most dangerous things. And you younger guys out there, because I remember when I would do the same thing, be like, oh, it'd be all right. Dude, it's so risky. It's just an accident waiting to happen. I'm gonna pull over one more time and try to wipe them down. But anyway, we are on the road. It is 6:42. We are eastbound and down. That's so cliche. It's all a dad joke. But I got my microphone, man. I'll plug it up here in a minute, and hopefully it works well, and I don't have to do any scenes over or whatever. Like I'll do the first one, listen to it. There's nothing I hate worse than it's so fake. To try to say everything that you just said that was spur of the moment to begin with. It's so anytime you do a retake, it's fake, unless it's for movie's sake. Ooh, I'm a rapper. Lamborghini Mercy, your chick, she's so thirsty. Okay, Lamborghini Mercy, your chick, she's trying to jerk me. Say what? Rapping is so easy. All you do is mention something that you have and use word to describe it. Like if you have a coupe, for instance, not a sedan, but a coupe, and it's black in color. You don't say, hey, I own a coupe and it's black. Nah. You say the coupe's the color of Akon. We all know what color Akon is. Like this. Every time. It never fails, man. Wait your turn, Jay. This thing is freaking junk, dude. You gotta love it when you spend your hard-earned money on a product that doesn't even work. I could have ate lunch for like 4 days for the price of wireless junk mic. I mean, it's just terrible. Terrible. Here, I'll do a commercial for you. Introducing the worst mic in the world. What have you got to say for yourself? I didn't hear you. That's because it sucks. Terrible phone mount sold separately. I'm just playing around, guys. It's a beautiful morning. We woke up today. God gave us another day. I've got another mic. You know, I am a firm believer of the right tool for the job. I heard that growing up, but it couldn't be any more true. Case in point, I was at a job probably 2 weeks ago. And I was trying, I've had a hammer drill, it's a quarter cable, and I'm like, a hammer drill is a hammer drill, right? And I've had it forever, and I've always drilled through tile, stone, whatever it is I'm doing, you know, project or whatever. And I was trying to drill through this tile that looked like hardwood, the hardest tile I've ever seen. Completely smoked my first bit that I had in the drill for probably 6 months or better. So I go down to a local hardware store, buy a brand new bit, and go at it. And if you guys have ever ran a hammer drill, it's loud, dude. My ears are ringing. I'm going on and on and on with it. And there happened to be another contractor there at the house working on another project outside of what I was doing. And the guy's like, man, I couldn't help but hear you over and over grinding, trying to get through that. And he said, man, I've got a DeWalt, I think you're on a STS. I'm probably saying that wrong, and you construction guys will correct me for sure. And he's like, dude, it'll blast right through it. I'm like, you really think so? I said, I don't get it. Like, it's a hammer drill too, right? He's like, yeah, but it's different, man. It hits harder. And he kept saying that, and it was kind of funny. He was like, man, it hits harder. And I'm like, and I'm stubborn, right? I was like, nah, dude, it's cool. I don't want to use your tools. So I go back at it and try mine again for another probably 15 minutes. Couldn't get through it. I mean, barely. Just made an indentation. My drill's getting real hot. Smells like it's burning. And then finally, I caved, right? And I'm like, dude, let me try it. I put the bit down on that little indentation that I started, and I pulled the trigger. I didn't even push or whatever, just the weight of the drill. It just, and fell right through it. So, I now own an STS drill, and it's in the toolkit. It's the right tool for the job, and that was such a great example of that. I was mind blown by that. Anyway, we left off yesterday talking about my old videos in YouTube, and I did see a couple comments this morning when I was getting up about wanting to see some of those. So I thought, well, I'll go back and look at a couple myself to see which ones I think would be the fun ones to start off with. And they're all privated, by the way. I don't want anybody to go wasting your precious time searching for something. They're all private. It's not that I don't want anybody to see them. It's just, it's a whole different chapter, right? When you start over, you start over. It's funny, and I was doing the vlog thing, and I clicked on one, and it said vlog number 1, and I used to do that style of text that would like flow up the screen. I was using like Windows Movie Maker. Oh, brutal, man. And it's so funny too to hear some of my audio, because like if I bring in a music clip or any kind of an additional sound that I added to it, I never did any fade ins or fade outs. It was just a hard cut, and you can hear that. Like, you don't realize the little things like that. If you're bringing in a song and overlaying it, if you don't fade it out gradually, you subconsciously will be. It'll snap you out of, like, if you have somebody drawn in and they're watching your video, it's something that simple could snap them out of it. They'll be like, what am I watching again? And they'll scroll to the next thing. There's a lot of science to it. I was surprised to see that me, 7 years ago, was fresh out of the homeless shelter in my little crap box Toyota Corolla that I bought for like $800 that I had when I lived in the homeless shelter. I was kind of living out of it and the shelter. But here I was, fresh out of the homeless shelter. I had a terrible job. I hated that It was a factory job where I just literally inspected dash parts for like Ford F-150s or something. Oh, brutal. And actually, I'll put in a little clip of even that I was proud of. And that's kind of where I'm building up to, if you haven't noticed yet. Be proud of whatever it is you're doing. So proud, in fact, that I was filming it and uploading it to social media. Like, look at my automotive factory job. And I just wanted to show people what I was doing. And so I did like a time lapse in there. Back to the story. So here I am. I bought this wrecked car, salvage car, that needed a hood, headlights, this and that, or whatever to put back together. And I was just like so excited to build this car for my family on camera, telling you guys, whoever was watching me at the time, this is great. I hope you guys are having a great time and following your dreams, because there's little encouragements like that. There's little things I feel that, you know, if you're sitting around like a slump and, oh, I can't do it, oh, it's just too far, or, you know, I don't want to spend that money on these parts and you know, flip this car thing that I was thinking about, because then I'll be broke. And what if it don't work out? What if this don't work? Whatever. Listen, just shut up, trust in God, and trust in yourself, and just go out and do it. Find it's easier, you know, like when I made the deal with the car, he wanted $2,500 for it, and I thought, man, okay, there's gonna be that, and then there's gonna be this little bit extra, and then there's taxes, blah, 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 and I started feeling that discouragement, which is the devil in disguise, not wanting you to do anything to succeed at all. But I was like, you know what, I'm just gonna push with to inspire you guys. Well, I had nothing. I lived in that upstairs apartment that literally the shelter paid for me to get, and I had a terrible job, had an old crappy totaled salvage car that I was trying to piece back together like Legos, but yet I was still pumped, dude, and could see the future, and was like trying to inspire other people. That's crazy. I'm like, man, don't let anything get you down, don't let anything get in the way. That's the devil doing that. It warmed my heart, man. It got me. I was like, yeah, dude. And it's crazy to think that long ago, and the position I was in then. And it's good, it feels good to know that I'm still grounded, even though I've come a long way, right? I now own my own home that I gave $130-some thousand for, and have beautiful children, a beautiful wife, and a great career. I'm in business for myself and do side jobs, which is both scary, but it's great. And I just trust the process, and I go and I bust my butt every day, and I'm still on my way. I'm still climbing towards that same goal that this guy right here was 7 years ago, sitting in that car, just happy to go. I drove all the way to Columbus to get a hood for my car. I didn't have a pickup truck. I had a Toyota Corolla. I tied it to the top of it with twine, because that's safe. Which, you know, don't do that. I mean, follow some of the stuff I do, but not all of it, right? That was a bad decision. And I eventually did stop at a Home Depot and got some real straps. That's some of the inspirational stuff that I was doing back then. And of course, we'll get into some of the funny stuff. Maybe at the end of this video, I'll put some in. But my mind's kind of rattled right now, because not only am I a semi-truck driver today, but I have a meeting scheduled later that I'm a little nervous about. I'm not gonna lie. Some of my business partners want to go over the growth plan for 2025. You know, what we're gonna do to grow. You don't want to just stay stagnant. You know, it's cool to just sustain a business, but you want to grow. And I'm the low man on the totem pole still, and I gotta earn my keep. I gotta prove myself, so to speak. So that's what that meeting is about today. I'm a little nervous, but if any of you guys find yourself going to a similar meeting or in a similar situation where you're put on the spot at your job to say, so what is it you're going to do to benefit us? You know, what's the plan? I know the first thing you think of is to lock up, right? Clam up. Oh my God, what do they want from me? You know, whatever. Listen, they wouldn't be asking that of you if they didn't think you were capable. You wouldn't be in this position to have that meeting in the first place if you weren't capable. If you weren't a total badass at what you do, and that's the reason that you're in the position you're in. So if your boss says, hey, you know, come see me in my office, I want to talk about how you're going to turn this place around. Don't look at it as a negative. Look at it as a positive. Look at it as that boss has so much faith in you. That boss is like, I know this is the one, Cheryl. You're the one, Cheryl, and he knows that you got it in you, or he wouldn't ask you, right? You can't look at everything as a negative. Even getting called to the office, to begin with, it is not a negative, man. And I try to practice that so much with my guys, man. Like, and I try to be so humble and try to be so nice to them. Not too nice though, because it can be a problem. Just be understanding and be helpful and be there to behind them when they need a little shove. They need a little shove. And I think that's going to be one of my plans for growth. Is I think I want to bring on some new guys, which is scary, man, because they don't pay for themselves. But anyway, I am on my way to a drop-off location for the semi job, and then I'll have that meeting, and then I will pick up with you guys after and let you guys know how it went, man. But love you guys. Hope you guys are having a great day, and I will see you in just a second your time, probably a few hours my time. I'm pooped. It is several hours later. Long meeting, long drive. Wasn't able to pick up the phone and film anything else. I take that back. Every time I pass an airport, I kind of squirrel a little bit. I love airplanes and aviation, man. It's so cool, but it is currently 4:50 and I have an appointment at 5. So, yeah. The day keeps going. Let's do it. Well, on my way to the last appointment of the day, and utterly spent. And that just happened. Another one bites the dust. Our tripod's legs are falling off. Anywho, maybe I can get it to balance on just 2. I've been a rapper all day, baby. So I'm gonna use this last few minutes that I have of time and energy. It seems I'm running out of gas pretty quick. To say what I should have said this morning. I should have started today's videos off with saying this, man. You guys know what date it is. It might only be day 7 for me and this little stupid vlog I'm doing every day for hopefully 100 days. But this is a really big day all these years later to a lot of folks out there, man. September 11th should be a day that's never forgotten and never any easier to get through for some folks, I would say. We all remember where we were if we were alive at the time. Me personally, I was in 9th grade health class. His name was Mr. Albrecht. We'll call him Coach Albrecht because he was not only a health teacher, but he was also a coach as well. And I remember one of the other teachers, I could see her face and everything, but I cannot for the life of me remember what her name is off the top of my head. But I remember she came in there, said something to him, and then he just kind of went back, you know, business as usual and said, oh, you know, let's just keep class going. Which, looking back, was probably the first tower, right? By the second one, and when it was live on every television broadcast channel across the country, was the point that Coach Albrecht wheeled in. Some of you younger folks out there, there used to be a cart that had 4 shopping cart wheels on it. I think them and Kroger and Walmart were all in business together. And there was just 4 coaster wheels on 4 poles. And there was a little base at the bottom for people to throw extra cassette tapes. Cassette's a whole nother story. I can't explain it all in one video. On top in the middle shelf was a VCR. And on the very top of that, there was TVs. They were made out of glass and they were about 575 pounds. So he wheels that in there. To this day, I don't know what his goal was, besides the fact that he probably just wanted to watch the news himself. What other reason would you have to go, hey, I'm pretty sure we just got confirmation that a terrorist flew a plane into a building to kill a bunch of people. This lines right up with health class. You know, hey, take a break today on sex ed. We're gonna watch terrorism. Kinda, you know, just a little lateral pass across, if you will. I do not have time. It's James.
Hey James, this is Matt.
Hey, how's it going? Man, I feel terrible today. I feel like this video is not gonna be 15 minutes, man. I don't know. So many things have happened today. Real quick though, the meeting went well. I had some really good ideas, strategies, I thought. Adjacent marketing, I don't know if you guys ever heard of it, but it applies to any business that you're doing, anything that you're doing business-wise. Adjacent marketing is always a possibility, which basically just means adjacent is, you know, right beside you, right? So I think the analogy I heard, where I heard from it was like a beauty store sells beauty, and so does a salon or a makeup store. And just not white label per se, where you're just slapping, you know, your label on something that somebody else already makes necessarily, but just, you know, just working with a company that's adjacent to you. That
you are not coming back here tonight, are you?
No, go ahead and set the alarm. I appreciate you and have a good evening. Okay. Anyway, I just wanted to say I had a good meeting. And I hope that if any of you guys, because that's the way things happen, I think, sometimes.
No problem, you two, and love you, brother.
Love you too, brother. I feel like it's put on us to say certain things because somebody else, and that's the beauty of YouTube. This video is going to live forever. Recycle, recycle, recycle. And it don't matter if somebody, and I guess it wouldn't be today because I'm not going to upload it till this evening. But if somebody was going to a meeting just like I was, and there may be 10, 20, 30 people in the future that's on their way to a scary meeting or got called to their boss's office, I think is the way I worded it this morning, and are just nervously watching this on their way, because that's what I do. I watch other people's like vlogs and videos. It's just gray noise on the way to something just to occupy my brain so I don't freak out sometimes. But maybe somebody's gonna hear this and go, yeah, that's right. I wouldn't have this meeting and they wouldn't be bringing me in there to pluck my brain about ideas of how to grow, which it's always scary, right? Your first thought is like, oh my God, they're putting all this pressure on me. They want me to grow the business? Like, gee whiz, I'm just a small guy. But anyway, you get what I'm saying. And if anybody was curious, the meeting went fantastic. I said some things. They really seemed to take interest in it. There was some engagement. And they were like, yeah, I really like that. And then, of course, you get yourself, you know, okay, well, elaborate on that, James. And meet back here on the 24th and tell me how you're going to execute that, which, great job, James. Anyway, it's all good, man. It's all love. It's exciting because if I grow business, I can pay myself more. It's the bottom line. And pay that truck off, baby. Woo!